Released in 2002 by Squaresoft on the PlayStation 2, Kingdom Hearts is an action RPG that stands as the first installment for what would be an intentionally comprehensive and potentially confusing story in a universe that merges worlds born from Disney and Squaresoft. So let's recap. The game begins with 14-year-old Sora as he emerges from a curious dream that questions the priorities in his heart and pits him against incarnations of the darkness within himself. Waking from that, Sora, along with his best friends Kairi and Riku, are building a raft to satisfy their thirst for exploration outside of their home, the Destiny Islands. Sora and Riku's rivalry extends not only to races and duels, but also with their mutual relationship to Kairi. When Riku finds a Paopu fruit, Sora is made aware of the legends surrounding it. If you share it with someone you really care for, the two of you are bound together for all eternity. Naturally, this places additional tension on the friendship between Sora and Riku, as Sora now thinks a little bit harder on what Kairi means to him. Soon after, Sora is met by a brown-robed figure who warns of the connection to this world, soon vanishing next to a mysterious door in a cave that seems to serve no purpose. That night, there is a terrible storm, and as Sora runs out to secure the raft he and his friends built, he finds Riku standing below a dark portal that is devouring their world. As the darkness begins to overtake both of them, Riku accepts the embrace while Sora resists. In his struggle, Sora materializes a unique weapon called the Keyblade in his hand, and with it can dispel the darkness. As he beats away the darkness in an attempt to find Kairi, he finds an image of her in the same cave before the mysterious door. The door flings open, sending Kairi's heart with Sora as he's flung away from this crumbling world. At the same time, in Disney Castle, Donald and Goofy receive word that King Mickey has left suddenly to investigate the rapid disappearance of stars in the sky and their respective worlds. Mickey sends the duo on a mission to seek the wielder of the key, who is apparently the key to their survival. As they leave to find the key bearer, they are joined by Jiminy Cricket, a refugee from his world that was consumed by darkness, and Pluto the dog. As guardians to ensure order between worlds, the group sets out to travel between them by means of interplanetary gummy ship. Their first stop is Traverse Town, in which they seek Leon, whom they are told can point them in the right direction. Setting down, they note the disappearance of another world, and not too far from that, Sora is flung to Traverse Town. In Traverse Town, Sora notes how these creatures of darkness are created, when he encounters Leon and Yuffie, who explains that the Keyblade is the only thing that can drive back the sudden outpouring of the creatures of darkness called Heartless. As there is darkness in everyone's heart, when a heart is consumed by darkness, it becomes a heartless monster, and the stronger the heart, the stronger the monster. Donald and Goofy find Aerith, who explains that it is a man called Ansem who has opened the doors connecting the world and thus allowing the Heartless to begin drowning all of the worlds in darkness one by one. Simultaneously, Riku finds himself on a foreign world, where he is encountered by the Witch Maleficent. Sora, Donald, and Goofy bump into each other and team up against the Heartless. Donald and Goofy realize the Keyblade is the key they should be looking for and need to stick with him per their orders. However, Sora is more interested in finding Kairi and Riku, so Donald and Goofy offer to travel with him in their ship as they too need to now find King Mickey. Unbeknownst to them, their union is being spied upon by a union of villains now able to conspire with each other: Maleficent, Hades, Jafar, Ursula, Captain Hook, and Oogie Boogie. As the trio of heroes blast off, they search a few nearby worlds first encountering Alice in Wonderland and helping that world out with a Heartless invasion. They find that each world has a keyhole to the doors Ansem and his Heartless were using. Finding that the Keyblade can literally function as a key to lock the world away once the Heartless has been stemmed, the trio now moves to push the Heartless out of additional worlds en route to the search for their friends. Crash landing their gummy ship in the jungle, Sora finds himself separated from the team, and must team up with Tarzan to not only find his allies, but also help Tarzan out with a hunter whose lust for power was enough to attract darkness to his world. Returning back to Leon, Sora and friends learn that every world has a keyhole to its heart. If the keyhole is unlocked and open, then darkness can seep in, and the Heartless will devour the world into nothingness. Sora is then sent to close up the keyholes and worlds he visits, starting with Traverse Town. Now, as their gummy ship is being upgraded, Sora explores the local clock tower to seal Traverse Town's keyhole, where he begins to now have visions of Kairi. This is interrupted by an encounter with Merlin the Magician, who, with the fairy godmother, set up shop in Traverse Town per request of their king to teach Sora magic. Merlin teaches Sora practical casting, while the fairy godmother teaches Sora how to summon additional allies, such as Simba, Bambi, Genie, Dumbo, Tinkerbell, and Mushu. In addition, Sora finds a magical book that allows him to play with Pooh and friends in the 100 Acre Woods. Elsewhere in Traverse Town, Sora unexpectedly reunites with Riku, who explains he is also searching for Kairi and is also apparently able to hold on to a Keyblade. Donald rejects the notion of Riku traveling along, which distracts them long enough for Riku to slip away and return to Maleficent, who is slowly leading Riku astray to darkness. Staying on target, Sora locates the town keyhole, locks it, then blasts off to the next world. In Agrabah, Sora teams up with Aladdin to defeat Jafar and close the keyhole, but behind his back he's not aware Riku is aiding Maleficent to steal Jasmine away in return for securing Kairi. Next, they visit Hercules in the Colosseum and find themselves in a plot devised by Hades. Hades convinces mercenary Cloud to kill Sora during the tournament games on his way to kill Hercules. However, when the Team Sora beats Cloud, Hades lets loose a Cerberus to deal with both of them. Hercules comes in to lend a hand, and together the threat is handled. And after handling multiple underworld threats such as the Earth Titan, Ice Titan, and even Sephiroth, Sora proves the power of friendship after a battle with Hercules to reveal the keyhole and seal that world. Cloud, meanwhile, finally got to have his long-awaited duel with Sephiroth. Next, the group encounters the wandering Monstro the Whale, also scattered like Jiminy was, and find themselves swallowed whole. Inside they find Geppetto and Pinocchio also attempting to leave Monstro's insides, but Pinocchio gets lost and encounters Riku. Catching up, Riku questions Sora's dedication to finding Kairi at all, but their chat is interrupted as Pinocchio is caught by a giant Heartless inside of Monstro. After the fight, Riku steals away Pinocchio and lets slip that he's looking to replace the heart of someone who lost theirs, and Sora figures he must be talking about Kairi. Riku surrenders Pinocchio and asks Sora to join forces with him, but Sora refuses as Riku is using too much darkness to achieve his goals. They are interrupted once again by a giant Heartless, and this time Riku withdraws to Kairi, who is found comatose in Neverland. Maleficent confirms Kairi's heart is gone, and is but an empty vessel until it is filled. She informs him that there are 7 princesses of heart, and upon being gathered together, will open the heart of all worlds, containing a way that can restore her heart. Riku complies, and Maleficent imbues Riku with enough dark energy to now control Heartless on his own. At the same time, Monstro coughs out the gummy ship with the trio inside, and they travel next to Halloween Town, where they team up with Jack Skellington to beat Oogie Boogie, even after Oogie Boogie powers himself up with concentrated darkness. After sealing the keyhole and leaving, the next stop is the underwater world Atlantica. Donald uses some magic to give them all aquatic forms, and the trio teams up with Ariel to locate this world's keyhole, but King Triton opposes interaction with the outside world. After Ariel is tricked by Ursula, she fights alongside Sora to defeat Ursula and her sorcery. As thanks, King Triton now allows Sora to seal the keyhole. The next trip to space has the heroes running into Captain Hook's pirate ship in Neverland. Sora is greeted by Riku, who expresses his disappointment in Sora's priorities regarding Kairi. He reveals it was his own strong heart, which is now capable of commanding darkness, that enabled him to reach his own goals, and to demonstrate, conjures a dark copy of Sora. Captured, Sora and his friends meet up with Peter Pan, who states he'll cooperate with Sora with his rescue, as he too is here to rescue Wendy. With a little sprinkle of pixie dust, Sora and his crew can now fly, and break into the captain's cabin after Riku intends to leave with Kairi. Wendy is found to not be one of the 7 princesses of heart, so Riku slips away as Sora duels Anti-Sora, and soon after Captain Hook. Sealing the keyhole to Neverland, Sora learns Maleficent is hiding in a world called Hollow Bastion. However, the gummy ship needs a new overhaul in order to reach there, so he returns to Traverse Town. In the downtime, Sora seals the keyhole for the 100 Acres Wood with Pooh after some introspection about friendship, adventure, and courage. Sora reflects on Riku's words about him, and he begins to doubt his own integrity and conviction with his friends. At this time, he receives a strange vision from Kairi's private past, which she hears a tale that talks more about the ability for a light to still shine even in the deepest darkness. Meanwhile, Riku and Maleficent are visited by Beast, whose sheer force of will was enough to travel between worlds, similar to Monstro. Riku deals with Beast easily enough after opening his heart to even more dark power, and Sora steps in as soon as Beast takes a fall. Riku proclaims Sora's faltering heart unworthy of the Keyblade, and successfully summons it from Sora's hands. Donald recalls the mission to stick to the key, regardless of its bearer, so apologetically he and Goofy leave with Riku. Down but not out, Beast gets up and expresses his fighting resolution, and Sora follows behind as he realizes he too must show more strength of heart. Within, the 7 princesses of heart are gathered: Jasmine, Cinderella, Aurora, Snow White, Alice, Belle, and Kairi. Though Maleficent has succeeded in gathering all 7 princesses, she finds only 6 of the 7 princesses have their hearts, so the keyhole to Kingdom Hearts cannot be revealed. On the way, Riku intercepts Sora, who has regained his confidence in himself. Riku denies him, but after Donald and Goofy remind Sora of his confidence in his friends, his strength of heart recalls his Keyblade, leaving Riku with his own Blade of Darkness. Sora's true strength of heart forces away Riku, who questions his own power now. At this time, the brown-robed figure from Destiny Islands reappears before Riku, and invites him to overwhelm Sora with darkness merely by opening his heart completely to the darkness. Riku complies and finds himself possessed by the new figure. The possessed Riku uses the power of the Six Princesses' heart to forge a unique Keyblade that has the power to completely open the hearts of people. However, both he and Maleficent find themselves stuck without the seventh heart, and so Maleficent seeks to deal with Sora herself. She finds herself soon overwhelmed by Sora, and Riku offers her a hand in the battle. He demonstrates the ability of the Keyblade by plunging it into Maleficent and unlocking her heart completely. Filling it with pure darkness, Maleficent adopts a fierce dragon form, but this too is dealt with by Sora and friends. After her defeat, possessed Riku reveals that she and the other villains were all being used by the Heartless the whole time. Ignoring him and rushing to Kairi, Riku continues to explain nothing can be done until Kairi's heart is returned, as she is the seventh princess. Caught in the confusion, Sora is surprised to hear Riku exclaim her heart resides in Sora himself, to which her heart beats in affirmation. He moves to unlock Sora's heart and release Kairi's, but Sora will not allow it. Sora clashes with the possessed Riku, triumphs, but is unable to seal the final keyhole as it still remains incomplete. Turning to Kairi, Sora knows now to release his own heart in order to also release Kairi's, and to do so means turning the tip of the possessed Riku's Keyblade to himself. Successful in his theory, Sora sacrifices himself, and in doing so releases the hearts of Kairi, which disperses the unique Keyblade and returns it to the 6 original hearts. The hearts return to their owners, and Kairi awakens only just in time to see Sora disappear. With all 7 hearts in place, the final keyhole is revealed, and now possessed Riku shows his true hand. Adopting his real form, the brown-robed figure was Ansem, ruler of Heartless and seeker of darkness. He makes an approach to Kairi, but is stopped by Riku's force of will within his own body. This gives Kairi, Donald, and Goofy enough time to flee and be noted by a unique Heartless. This Heartless was the one created by Sora as his heart was opened and taken by the darkness. Still sentient with memories, Sora, the Heartless, follows the group when Kairi realizes that's actually Sora as a Heartless. With her pure light, she manages to guide Sora out of the darkness and bring back his original body per memory. Reunited, the group retreated back to Traverse Town with Beast securing their escape. As the team plans on what to do about Ansem, Sora confesses to Kairi the connection of his heart to hers, but tells her he must now rescue Riku from the darkness. Understanding, she loans him her good luck charm, and they form a promise to always stay together. Meanwhile, Riku struggles to maintain himself within the deep darkness, but he soon hears a new guiding voice who lets him know to hold on, and know that 2 hearts and 2 Keyblades are needed to lock the final door. Now bolstered, Sora and crew rush to Hollow Bastion, where he finds the 6 princesses stemming the flood of darkness now pouring out of the keyhole. Further in, he bumps into a black-robed figure, now who pauses and recognizes Sora. Promptly attacking him, the figure tells Sora he is an incomplete, despite his power, and soon takes leave, merely noting to himself that he is a hollow shell, but will be keeping an eye on Sora. Leon and his friends catch up to Sora, and as Sora closes the giant keyhole, Leon explains Hollow Bastion was the world he and his friends originally came from. However, Sora's work is not done yet. Not only does he seek Riku and King Mickey, but the only way to restore all the worlds consumed by the Heartless will be to defeat Ansem, for he kept all of that darkness within him. Traveling now to a world named the End of the World, Sora finds this as a cluster of fragments of all the consumed worlds. Fighting past the strongest of Heartless and even the demon of Bald Mountain, Sora finally finds Ansem, still possessing Riku, standing on the edge of a broken Destiny Island. The final fight is on as Sora battles Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, through rising forms of darkness. Finally, Ansem calls upon the darkness game from the hearts of all worlds, and upon besting that, Ansem is finally beaten down. Reaching out to open the door to Kingdom Hearts, Ansem believes the outpouring of darkness will revive him, but Sora confidently believes that Kingdom Hearts is actually filled with light. This light banishes Ansem from Riku, and before that immense power can be escaped, Sora and friends hurry to close the door and lock it. Unable to do so by themselves, they find themselves aided by Riku and King Mickey on the opposite side of the door, with King Mickey wielding the needed Keyblade to lock the door on his side. Locking the door for good, the worlds begin to right themselves, and Sora makes sure Kairi is safe on the Destiny Island's restoration as he promises to return to her as soon as he finds Riku. The worlds are all restored back to their original form, and the doors between them are now sealed. However, the fates of Riku and King Mickey are still not resolved, not to mention a few other loose ends, such as looking for the door to the light that will lead them back to their lost friends. Regardless, on their way on the open road, they are stopped by Pluto, who holds in his mouth a letter with King Mickey's seal on it. Leading them on, the trio now rushes into a new adventure. Kingdom Hearts concludes with a mysterious trailer that sets up the next game in the story, 358 over 2 days, and has enjoyed the success of selling over 6 million copies worldwide.